You leave the conversation, get home, put your phone down, and start doing something completely unrelated. Then, out of nowhere, your brain brings it back. You hear your own voice saying that one sentence again. You remember the pause before they answered. You remember the way they looked at you. And suddenly you're thinking, why did I say that? So you replay the conversation one more time, just to check. Except you don't really check it once. You go through what you said, what they might have meant, and what you probably should have said instead. And the weirdest part is that nothing actually happened. The conversation ended, they went home, their day continued, but yours somehow followed you into the next few hours. And I want you to notice something about these loops. They don't usually feel like you're deliberately torturing yourself. They feel like you're trying to figure something out. Did I make things awkward? Did they think I was rude? Was that joke weird? Should I have said something different? Your brain is searching through the conversation as if there's an answer hidden somewhere inside it. Because if you can find the exact moment where you went wrong, you can make sure it never happens again. That sounds useful, and sometimes looking back at something really can help you learn. But there's a difference between learning from a conversation and putting the conversation on trial. Once you're no longer asking, what can I take from this? And you're asking, what did every little detail mean? You're not really solving the problem anymore. You're feeding the loop. Here's where this gets sneaky. When you replay the conversation, you're not watching a recording. You're reconstructing it from memory. And every time you go back through it, you're doing it from the perspective of someone who is already worried that something went wrong. So, a completely normal pause can start feeling significant. A neutral expression suddenly looks annoyed. A joke that got a perfectly normal response starts sounding embarrassing when you hear it inside your own head. You aren't discovering new evidence. You're repeatedly looking at the same evidence through the same anxious question. What if I mess this up? Research on post-event rumination describes this exact pattern. People can repeatedly analyze social interactions afterward, especially around perceived mistakes and fears about how they came across. So, the next time you catch yourself replaying a conversation, I don't want you to tell yourself, stop thinking about it. That usually just creates another argument with your own brain. Instead, ask yourself one simple question. Am I learning something, or am I looking for proof that I did something wrong? If you actually made a mistake, own it. If there's something you need to clarify, clarify it. If you learned something useful for next time, take it with you. And then you're done. You don't need to review the same conversation 20 more times to make the lesson more real. If there isn't anything left to do, there may not be anything left to solve. And honestly, I think this is the part we forget. You don't need to remember every conversation perfectly to be a good friend, partner, coworker, or person. You are allowed to pause. You're allowed to say something awkward. You're allowed to phrase something badly and move on. Most conversations don't need a post-game analysis. So, if your brain brings one back tonight and starts asking, why did I say that? You can answer, I already lived that moment. I don't need to live it again to be okay. Take whatever was useful. Leave the rest where it happened. The conversation ended. You can let your mind move on too.